Well, let's move to get started. Once again, welcome to the LinkedIn session with the pro. I am Deanna McLary Sherman. I'm the co-founder of TrueStar. It's so good to see so many young people on with us today. I just want to acknowledge and thank Jerry Stoffel, who is here from the board of TrueStar, who was just instrumental in setting this up. Thank you so much, Jerry. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
No, thanks for showing up. Look forward to today's session.
Absolutely. And just to give some context to our guests, we have students across TrueStar programs here on this particular call. So we have video production, podcasting, journalism, social media, all from a variety of programs. Some do multiple things at TrueStar, and they're all across the city, and some of them are even outside of Chicago. So without further ado, I'm just going to also just want to acknowledge our instructors. Thank you all so much. We have Darshay of our podcast program, Marty, Sharman, and just all of the TrueStar staff, Paris, and everyone. So let's just get into it. I would love to just introduce our guest, Varshini Kumar.
Yes, you got it.
Welcome and thank you for your time today. So I'm going to just let you take it from here.
Of course. So happy to be here and great to meet you all. I am so excited to walk through and chat about LinkedIn and hopefully just give you guys some tips on how to make the best possible LinkedIn profile. But if anyone has any questions throughout, it might be hard for me to see you just because I'm going to be presenting a PowerPoint deck. So please just feel free to either, I don't know how we want to do this, if we want to just do questions in the chat or people can just unmute as well, whatever works. But really just want to make sure that today is as impactful as it can be. So if anyone has any questions outside of LinkedIn profiles, even just anything about LinkedIn, happy to share my perspective and tips and whatever it is that I can be most helpful. So if anyone even has any specific questions, we can talk about all of that good stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Great. Can somebody just give me a thumbs up that they can see? Great.
We can see it.
Awesome. Okay, great. So basically the presentation is going to focus around very tactical things that you can do as soon as you create your LinkedIn profile. So I guess actually to preface do most people have a LinkedIn profile? Could this be inspiration to create a LinkedIn profile? Where are we at?
I have a LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. Do you use it?
Yeah, I have it, yeah.
Cool. If anyone has any thoughts or feedback or questions.
I need that link because she was supposed to send it to me, but she didn't.
To create a LinkedIn profile?
I don't have a LinkedIn profile, but why do I need one?
What's TSAT at cps.edu. Yeah.
Everyone, please make sure that you're muted because I'm hearing multiple voices. So please make sure if you're not speaking to the speaker that you're muted. Thank you. So just to give you a little bit of context, a good majority of those on the call are high school students who may not be familiar with LinkedIn and what the purpose is or anything like that. They have been given some, just a few links to do their own research. And then some of our college students and young adults probably are more familiar with LinkedIn and do have profiles, but definitely want to understand, especially how it works for how a high school student could get an early jump on LinkedIn, as well as a college student, and then how creatives specifically could take advantage of LinkedIn and just, all of that good stuff. So
awesome. Okay, great. That's awesome context. And thank you everyone for participating already. So first and foremost, the way that LinkedIn thinks about itself is that we are like professional social media. So we have a lot of aspects of like traditional social media, where you can connect and like speak with other folks and like friend request through like a connection, other people, and kind of keep track of your professional network. But there's elements to it that are very like just kind of like job focused or career focused. So we'll get into a bit of that. I think one of the when LinkedIn was first created, it was just like catering to a lot of folks like in the professional fields. And like from that, I think we've come a long way to be more of just like an inclusive platform to be for everyone. So the product is kind of set up in a way to create communities and to just like basically create more connection, whether like how it doesn't matter like how old you are, what job you have, anything like that. It's kind of like the best case scenarios, like you're getting a lot of information from LinkedIn and you're getting to connect with your peers. So that's a little bit about LinkedIn. I can also share some facts just about the company. I think there's some stats in here also, but we'll get into like why like having a LinkedIn profile can be very impactful, and especially within the creative realm. So we just spoke a little bit about LinkedIn. Whoop. All right, so the value proposition of the company is really connecting every member of the global workforce to opportunity. So that's kind of been the anchoring thing, and how like that was our original vision, and still to this day, connection is really that piece that we want to foster between people that know each other, people that don't know each other. You never know who you could meet that could change your career or your life. So here are just a few numbers. So we actually, this slide deck is a little old actually, because as of today, we just hit 1 billion members. So we need to update that. But there's 58 million jobs, or 58 million companies that are recorded on LinkedIn, lots of jobs, skills, schools mentioned. So it's a really great repository. So I guess reason number one of a great reason to have a LinkedIn profile is just to like stay connected and understand like what's happening professionally and creatively in the world. Lots of people post really amazing kind of like works of art, for lack of a better word, whether it's through their words. There's also like lots of videos that got published on LinkedIn as well. But it's a really great creative space to express yourself, and it's free. So why not? So one, I guess reason number two of why you should have a LinkedIn profile is, I think, honestly, I wish that I had a LinkedIn profile when beginning in high school, because I don't think it's ever too early to start building your professional brand on LinkedIn. And that's exactly what having a profile does. And then I'm just going to... Okay, awesome. So one of the pieces of your professional brand, first and foremost, is to make sure that you are like humanizing your online presence. So adding a photo really does that. And it has actually like a pretty significant impact. If you want recruiters to reach out to you for potential internship opportunities or job opportunities, or if you just even want to connect with other students, other teachers, other people that could potentially hire you in the future, having a photo is just really, having a professional photo is just quintessential, I think, to making like a good first impression online. And there's just some statistics about how you get more profile views. Like if you are ever trying to share your creative brand online and like push things out there, this will just help with that. Recording your name. This is actually a feature that came out in the last year.
Can you hear? Oh.
I can hear you. I'm not sure if, hold on 1 second. I was just seeing if I could mute folks, but okay, I think we're good. So recording your name is really great because it's just another way to personalize your professional brand. So people know how to say your name and feel comfortable doing that. And that is a fun feature. So adding your pronouns, you can choose to set the visibility. So you don't have to like share this with everyone if you don't want, but you can include it in your profile. And I think that's just another really great inclusive part of LinkedIn. And then creating your cover story. This, I think, is a very fun, underutilized feature. So not a lot of people are using this on LinkedIn. And I think specifically for anyone in the creative space, this is huge. So actually, you can actually record a 30-second video of yourself and have that be your intro video, where if someone goes to your LinkedIn profile and they click on the circle photo that is your headshot, picture of you, they will actually get that 30-second intro video. And I think you can be really creative in what you upload there. So you can share your story, you can highlight whatever you want in 30 seconds, and you can kind of make it your own. Jerry, do you have a question?
What's the best example of a 30-second intro video that you've seen? There are a lot of creative people on this call right now, and video is one of the things that TrueStar does best. So just curious if you've seen anything really cool or inspirational.
So there's actually somebody at LinkedIn who like pushes a lot. He creates a lot of content. So he's like constantly talking about like topics that he cares about, and he will actually like record videos and post them on LinkedIn. So one thing that I like about his cover stories is that he changes them every few months, and he talks specifically about like what he cares about for that like few months, what he's working on, and kind of like what he's devoted his career to. To make this like a little bit more tangible, I can send over some examples of good ones afterwards, if that would be helpful as well.
Cool. I need to make my own.
Same here. I like love this feature and I don't use it. So this is good inspiration for me too. Awesome. And then I think also just positioning yourself as an expert, as you will probably want to do in the next decade or so of your career, since everyone's very early on. This is really great for that as well. Jade, do you have a question?
Hello, yes, that was actually my first time hearing about that feature. So I wanted to know if was that like a premier feature that you could only receive like with the premier membership, or is that for everyone?
That's a great question. It is for everyone. So it's totally free to use as long as you just create your own LinkedIn profile.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So next is headlines. So this is more than just your job or like what you're currently doing. So I think your headline is whatever you want to be. I think there's a lot of creativity, like a lot of creative space that you can use here. I think this is another feature that is underutilized. Most people on LinkedIn are just putting what their job is, but you can really show your passion, your hobbies, the impact you want to make on the world, what you're focusing on right now, whatever you really are enjoying. This is like a great way to really highlight that. So this would be the headline that's like right by under your name. Awesome. So this next section is your summary or your about me. So people think about this as kind of their really quick elevator pitch. So some of you might have heard the term elevator pitch in that if you were meeting someone and you had 30 seconds or less to talk with them really quickly in the elevator and pitch yourself and just show who you are and what you care about. So this is a great area to actually put that down on paper. And you can highlight whatever your accomplishments may be if you are really passionate about a specific topic, or if you really enjoyed volunteering. That's all great things to highlight here. There's also specific sections to highlight different things throughout your profile, but this is kind of like a high level. If someone is just reading something really quickly, what are the things that you want them to know about you? Great. So next is work experience. So this doesn't necessarily have to be work experience, having a job that you would think about traditionally. You can also include like internship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, things you've done at school, things you've done in the community. So really documenting any experience that you have can be really great. You can also include links out to different things. So if you worked for either like a company or a school, you can link out to their webpage and really build up your profile that way. Really, the more that you have on your profile, the more that you're going to be able to engage with other folks.
And the great thing is that everyone who's on this call can start with TrueStar. If they did not have anything on their page or are starting a page, you've worked for TrueStar, and you can put your work experience and the different things you've done and the different things that you've learned. So everyone at this point does have work experience.
That's an awesome call out. And the great thing too is if you click on TrueStar, like if you add that to your profile, you can click on that LinkedIn page and it'll take you to the TrueStar LinkedIn page where you can connect to other folks that have been within this community as well. So that's just another way that if you were trying to find people, it's a great common link. We talked a little bit about volunteer experience. You can highlight that within your About Me summary, but also get into the details of volunteer experience here as well. And you can just add whatever nonprofit companies and mention how you have interacted with them. And I guess a fun stat to call out here is people that are actually filling out their profile, people that are putting in things like volunteer experience, you're going to get more views on your profile, which in in traditional social media, if you're thinking about like TikTok, getting more views, if you're a creator on TikTok, can be really great from like a monetary perspective per se, but like on LinkedIn, it's a little bit different because you want to connect and like increase your professional network as much as possible and basically show up on people's radar.
I have a question.
Yeah.
To that end. If I'm creating, as a high schooler creating that first profile, what are like the top 3 things to get noticed if they want to like get a job or something like that? What are the top 3 things to work on when they first start in their profile in your opinion?
So having a photo, I think, is baseline. You need to have a photo, a professional, like good headshot. And you don't have to be fancy about it. You can take it off of a phone. Mine is actually off of my phone. And I think having a headline that is more than just like whatever your job is, and like using that creative outlet. And I think adding emojis to your headline also increases you getting noticed, because it's just adding more personality and flair to your profile. And the emojis thing is not within this slide deck, but it's something that I've just heard stories about, like people getting a lot more views on the content that they're producing. And then I think it also has to do with your personal brand. You're kind of showing it in more ways than one because you're using more than just words. So photo, headline, and I think the third one is just like we haven't talked about it yet, so I'll get to that, but I think like adding in skills is really, really great. So I will get to that one in a minute, but great question.
Thank you.
Awesome. So the next section talks about just like this is below your About Me summary, and whether you can basically use this as a section to link out things that you may have worked on, things that you're a part of. Even like I've seen people use this featuring like different ad campaigns that they just love, and they kind of include their commentary on why. So this is another section that can be used in a few different ways. And I think this is just another area also that you can feature different content, and this can be constantly changing as well. It doesn't have to stay the same. And that's the great thing about your profile in general. It can change, it should change as you change. Great. So this is another kind of like hidden feature. I can send over like the directions on how to activate this, but activating creator mode, I think, is awesome. This is also another free feature, and it allows you to basically reach a way larger audience, and showcase your content. So there's things about this that I don't fully know, like I don't know what about the algorithm, but I know turning on this feature and then actually producing creative content go hand in hand together. So this is another big boost that you could do, and it I think is very specific to this group. Okay, this is one of my favorite things ever. So adding skills and getting endorsed on those skills. So this was one of the first things that I started doing on my LinkedIn profile. You can just basically gather up any sort of skills and the thing that I love about this is because we are basically gaining skills from the minute that we're born, like learning how to do anything in life, I think can be featured here. And so you can add in like different skills, and there's like, it really helps you and it prompts you. Like if you type in the word like creative, a bunch of recommendations will pop up. So there's a lot that the LinkedIn profile is doing with AI, like artificial intelligence, that have changed a lot of our features in the past year. So it should make things easier for you to add in skills. And then what an endorsement is your colleagues can actually endorse you for those skills. And I don't think that's like super necessary, but it's nice to endorse each other for different skills and just have those on your profile and attached to your name. The reason that I think this is very important and impactful is because the way that like further down the road when people are looking for jobs, the way that recruiters look for jobs is oftentimes like by skill set. So they're typing in certain skills that they are trying, and that's the way that they're sourcing candidates. One of many ways. So it's not like the one thing, but it is definitely a good thing to include on your profile. All right. And similar to endorsements are just like a quick thing that somebody can endorse you for a skill saying, yes, like I verify this person has this skill. A recommendation is a bit longer. So if you have worked with a peer that you really enjoyed working with and you guys were on some sort of like group project or just any sort of collaboration really, this would be great to receive a recommendation from them and also give them a recommendation. And it's just a few sentences, doesn't have to be super long, but that's just kind of like a nice thing that I try to do after I work with someone on whatever project or initiative, is try to kind of swap recommendations. Or if you had a manager that you really loved, and you wanted to give a recommendation, you can proactively do that. At the same time, if you have someone that you worked for that you want to ask them to give you a recommendation, you can do that as well, all through the platform. And you can do that through messaging on LinkedIn. And it makes it really easy for you it basically writes out the message. If you're requesting a recommendation or if you're giving a recommendation, you can write it out as well. Awesome. And then, so this is like a little bit more into your settings. So getting away from your profile on the back end, one of the things that you can do is turn on a indicator that shows that you're open to work. And that's another way that recruiters actually look for people to fill their roles. They'll literally click on a check mark and it shows them who has this feature turned on, to then be able to connect with those people that are actively looking for roles. So if you are looking for a job or an internship, you can turn this on in your settings. So the rest is, we don't have to go through every single one, just because a lot of this has to do with your actual settings and visibility. And I'll send this deck over if anyone does want to get into the details of that. But I think one of the things I wanted to highlight here was around when you're actually publishing content on LinkedIn. I think there's obviously like community guidelines, like be respectful, things, but more than that, it's kind of constant. I think the question to ask yourself is like, is this in line with my professional brand? And like, I guess another thing too is just thinking about like, what is the message I want to get out and when do I want to get it out? So those are kind of like the things that we share in terms of guidelines on sharing things at LinkedIn. What is this? What's surprising? I actually don't even know. There was a different quote there before. But here is just some stats on, oh, this gets into a little bit more of outside of like the professional realm. People are also just using LinkedIn as like a source of news and learning. There's like a whole other LinkedIn learning platform that you can purchase. There's also trials of them, but there's like actual content that you can learn on LinkedIn and you can add it to your profile, and it like adds in those additional skills as well. Yes. Hey, Jerry.
Can you set up your account on your phone, or do you have to be on a desktop?
Ooh, so we have LinkedIn as an app, and I believe you can do everything that you can on a desktop on the app. So you can do it directly from your phone. That's a great
Awesome.
point.
So we
And
could set it up, we could download it, set it up right now on our phone if we wanted to.
yes.
Cool.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So you can download LinkedIn, the app, and you can do everything there, and it's great. You can also do this on a desktop, and you can also use the mobile version of the website on your phone as well, but I don't recommend that one. So I would go either app or desktop computer. Any other questions while we are here? We're getting to the end of this presentation. Okay, awesome. Jade?
Hello, I had another question. I recently just heard about certifications being offered through LinkedIn. So I just wanted to learn a little bit more about that and how that works because I just learned about it.
Yeah. So if I am thinking about what you mentioned correctly, it's the certification that you get after you complete a LinkedIn learning course, right? Are you talking?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so there's tons of amazing content on LinkedIn that I like personally love watching. There is like basically that's a subscription that you can purchase, or you can also do a trial. I think I don't know how long the trial is actually. So that is like one call out that it's not free, but I think it's great to have because then, like you mentioned, you can complete the course, and at the end of it, you get like a badge that says you're certified in whatever that topic is. And that's also a great way basically to fill in any gaps that you may have. Like if you're going for a certain internship or job and you're like, I have this experience, but I don't have this experience. Taking a course on that experience can give you things to talk about in that interview, and also just give you good experience as well. Does that answer the question?
Yes, and when looking for like that on LinkedIn, would you just search in what you're looking for? For me particularly, I'm in college. I'm a marketing student, but I'm looking to go into brand marketing, digital marketing. So I'll go on sites like HubSpot and get like social media certifications. So
Mhm.
if I'm looking to do something like that on LinkedIn, would I just type in the search bar certifications in marketing and see what comes in, or is there a certain like place that I have to go for that?
So you wouldn't even have to write certifications just because you could just type in the topic, and you should be getting a certification basically with every LinkedIn learning course, and it'll add it to your profile.
Okay.
That's great that you already know that you want to kind of delve into those topics. And there was one thing that I wanted to add. Oh, also, if you are taking courses like outside of the LinkedIn Learning platform as well, you can also add those to your profile under like the experience section as well. So you can link out to
Mhm.
that also.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Avery?
Hi, can you all hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, if I'm trying to directly message people on LinkedIn who may only reply to messages of people who have LinkedIn Pro or who I don't know personally, do you all have any advice on how to message or properly get in contact with those people, even though I may not have access to that specific resource?
Yes, definitely. So one thing to know, I would say most people are very open to like people reaching out on LinkedIn, getting a response. I think to do that, you have to basically like customize and tailor the message. Be very clear upfront about why you're reaching out to them and why now. And then like basically introduce yourself and make your ask of them very clear. So if you want to chat with them for 20 or 30 minutes and do like a phone call, just being clear with that ask. And then I think one of the things that I've learned in the past few years is providing them with an incentive to meet with you. So you can basically get creative with that. And also, I think this is an area where you can show that you've done your homework on who they are, and putting yourself in the position of like, what could I potentially provide this person? And it could be just like insight into whatever you're working on in that world. So just being very clear, concise. People are often like looking at things on their phone, so like keeping the message short. And a good thing about in-mails is if they respond, you get the in-mail back. So it's not like pulling from your bank of in-mails that you get every month.
And I would just want to add,
Okay.
sometimes if you have a link that shows, that's connected to what you're talking about or what you're interested in, or shows something that you've done, like a video that you've created or something like that, it's good to put that in there to kind of just give more credibility. Also to find out if you all have any liked contacts. So people will reach out to me and say, hey, you're connected. Someone just did that recently and said, hey, you're connected to this person. Do you mind introducing me? So that way it's not like such a cold introduction, but it's like, hey, this person, I'm kind of giving credibility to that person. So if like True Star is connected to that person and you want to get in touch with them, depending on what our relationship is, I'll just go ahead and, just make that introduction and you can take it from there. So that's another way that I use to try to like message people and get in contact with people.
Okay, thank you so much. And I know that, and then this is kind of a very quick follow-up. I know that an incentive was mentioned. I was wondering, would you mind providing kind of an example of that just for further clarity so I know when kind of drafting out my messages to people?
Yes. So this is going to be so specific based on the situation. So I'll try to provide some like more general things. But I think like when I'm reaching out to anyone, like I will offer to give them like some insight or some information on something that I might be working on that they don't know about. So I know that's kind of vague. I can also, you know what, I can try to, we have tons of templates on this actually about writing good in-mails that'll get responses. So I can share that with this group. That might be more.
Okay, thank you so much. That's so helpful. Thank you.
No problem. And I see someone in the South Shore campus standing up. Hello.
Hello. Hi, my name is Raymond Porter. I come from South Shore. And I know you guys went over a lot of information, you talked about a lot, but I want to know personally, what were some of the biggest challenges that you guys actually had when actually trying to get people these jobs and getting all that set up? Because it is a lot of information to display out to different people.
Yeah, so from like recruiters' perspective, like what issues are they running into on LinkedIn?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head that there's a lot of information. There's also a lot of people on LinkedIn, so there's a lot just going on in general. So I would say one of the hardest things to work through, if you're a recruiter, is that there's just so many candidates out there, and it's hard to sift through, and it takes time when you're looking through different candidates. So actually, a lot of what we went over today, just like tips on how to make your profile better, directly or correlated to like how you can stand out as a candidate online. So then a recruiter, like you can turn on that you're looking for opportunities, like internships or jobs. And that's a way for a recruiter to like quickly on their end hit the check mark of seeing who in Chicago is looking for a job that is that has like a certain skill set, and they'll add in like a few different skills, and then they can quickly see. And it's basically like creating a short list of who's potentially interested and who could be a good candidate. So I think like the more you fill out your profile, the more that you can get pulled into searches. But that is an issue if you're looking through all these candidates and you're not able to like pick out who could be good for what. But that was a great question. It made me think.
So like a lack of information would you say is, one of the biggest challenges? Meaning that if I wanted to improve the amount of internships and opportunities that I have on LinkedIn, that I would need to provide a little bit more information so that you guys can help sort that out.
Exactly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And I just wanted to add, like everyone is creating something. So adding to LinkedIn something that you've created, making sure you have a bio on yourself. Just all of those things help to show what skills you have. And so that always helps is when you can actually put some of the things that you've done.
Awesome. Sierra?
I know that you mentioned things like adding a photo to humanize your online presence and updating your headline and using emojis as ways to bring attraction to your accounts. But what other things should be displayed on your LinkedIn profile to make you more enticing to recruiters and employers, as well as other people who are searching for connections?
So outside of the things you mentioned, I think like having a lot of, not a ton, but links to the most relevant things that you care about or have worked on or have created, I think also can really bring your LinkedIn profile to life. Because it's no longer just words on a page, then you're actually linking out to a video that you created or were in, or just liked and like had some sort of commentary on. So I think adding in that additional media, whether it's like within each of the pieces of experience or like up top right underneath your About Me page, there's a few different areas for you to kind of inject more life through those like media links.
Yeah, Sierra, I posted the video that you created that Mayor Brandon Johnson retweeted and reshared of the Youth Commission budget thing that you covered. And you did a video and you wrote an article. So the fact that Brandon Johnson, shared it, I think that would be like a really strong piece of content to put on your LinkedIn.
That definitely sounds like a great thing to highlight on LinkedIn. That's amazing. All right. And then Brian, I see your hand has been up.
Hello, and I want to know, how can LinkedIn help me as a content creator?
That's a great question. So I think community is the like first thing that comes to mind. So I think it helps you in the way that if you are a creator on LinkedIn, you're automatically a part of the community of creators on LinkedIn. The other awesome thing is there's not a huge population of creators on LinkedIn. There's tons on like other social medias. But I think this is a great time to get involved with being a creator on LinkedIn, because it might be a little bit easier to stand out based off of like what type of creator, what type, like who you're trying to talk to. Just because there's a lot of noise in general across like all social media, LinkedIn included. But I think it's like having an awesome profile that that showcases your brand and posting consistently, like consistent with your brand, and just getting content out there. So I think the community aspect is biggest.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the question. And then Avery, do you have another question, or I wasn't sure if that was a hand from before?
Oh, I totally forgot to put my hand down. Thank you so much.
No worries. All right. And then I see BBF Campus Podcast has a question.
What should we wear for our interview profile photo?
Oh, okay. This is a fun question because I think people have different answers for this. I think traditionally, people would be like, wear a suit and like be as professional as you can be. I think my personal answer, and also I think like the point of view that LinkedIn has, is if you're trying to be as human as possible on LinkedIn, then just wear whatever you're most comfortable in. I think there's, like guidelines that you can think, like everyone just use their best judgment on like what is professional. But that's actually a really great discussion that's like being had on LinkedIn too, of like what is professional and like how can we, why are there like certain rules that we've adhered to in the past that, so there's a lot of talk about that. So in a nutshell, I would say wear whatever you're comfortable with, ensuring that it is like professional. I like the term like smart casual, if anyone has heard of that. But it's just like a step below business casual. And I think it's just about like showcasing your personality, like wear colors that you like. And you can always do like a dress, or really anything. I won't get into specific fashion advice, but I think it's also an indicator of your brand. Like you just radiate when you're comfortable. Great question. Trinity.
Hi, how can LinkedIn help you outside of like social media jobs, like jobs in the real world, you know?
So how can LinkedIn help you in your, oh, yes, this is a great question. So we touched upon like LinkedIn marketing in the past. How I kind of think about LinkedIn is for people who don't have a job, helping them get a job, for people that have a job, getting them their dream job. And for people who have their dream job, there's still like a use for LinkedIn in the sense that you can use LinkedIn Learning to build up your skill set, to just like be a lifelong learner and get even better at that dream job. So that's kind of how I think about like the spectrum of how you can move through your career. But I think like the skills thing is the biggest thing of how LinkedIn can help you in your role in real life. Whether it's like taking a LinkedIn Learning course, or actually I think another piece of this is also connection. Just if you see someone's content or like anything that they posted on LinkedIn, it's a great way to connect in real life as well. And I think that was obviously different during COVID, but there's been a lot of people, I think, that move their virtual messages from LinkedIn into in-person meetings, or a phone call. Awesome. Amani?
And when you said, wait, one second, Trinity, you said real jobs. LinkedIn really, if you're talking about like non-creator type jobs, which I think creative jobs are real jobs too, but LinkedIn is more so known for jobs in banking and finance and other careers than even in creative careers. Even though I think it's good for careers across all industries, I just wanted, just to make that distinction clear, that, there are it's a range of careers that LinkedIn supports.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Amani?
Okay, so I had a question. I was wondering if there were any good users to follow who can show us how to utilize LinkedIn more efficiently, or like that you would be able to share with us that I can follow. Because I know I'm on this meeting now, but I feel like I'm gonna forget this stuff like next week.
Totally. I can share some profiles that really are kind of stand out and are doing like all the things that you should do on LinkedIn. And feel free to connect with me as well after this call. I can share the link to my profile, whether it's in the Zoom chat or maybe after. Actually, I'll do that after. So we have all the links.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. Awesome. Well, I love these questions. Any other questions?
I just wanted to also mention, just as someone, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that LinkedIn has been essential for me telling the story of the business, telling the mission of the business, and it definitely has led to opportunities. The more of the story I tell, and you can do this like you're a business yourself, you're a brand, right? And so you can tell your story. And so many people have reached out to me, asked to connect with me. I have over 1,000 followers on LinkedIn. People look to me as, a subject matter expert in this particular um, field, as being someone that has started and founded a nonprofit. And so I've been really able to tell my own story and position myself in my career. It's led to speaking engagements. Target reached out and asked if I could participate in a brand campaign that they were doing. So I just want to, you may not be there yet, but at the top of the year, I committed to being consistent on LinkedIn as it related to my career. And it has definitely gotten me the return I was looking for. And it has been essential. So I do want to encourage, even though you are young, this is just a good start to understand what LinkedIn can do for you. And when I've asked people, how did you find out about me? And they say, oh, on LinkedIn. And I'm like, wow, okay, great. Let me post more on LinkedIn. So that's just a little anecdote that I would say, that people are on there and they're looking for professionals. They're looking for people to build with. Um, so yeah, that's just my, if you're looking to start a business or just creating your personal brand, LinkedIn is a good place to start.
That's amazing. So glad to hear that. And I think another thing too is just like getting started, and getting started can be hard on anything. But I think another awesome thing is that like LinkedIn is dynamic and ever changing, just like any other social media platform. So nothing has to be permanent. Like you can put something out there, and if you decide like that's not that you don't want it out there, you can always delete it. But just I think like creating on LinkedIn, it's a great time to be doing that. But first and foremost, creating your profile, thinking about like what you want your professional brand to be, and just like being intentional about the people that you do start to reach out to, are really awesome next steps.
And yes, and like it was mentioned before, TrueStar does have a LinkedIn page. So when you do start your LinkedIn page, you can put TrueStar. TrueStar will pop up on your page. Our logo will pop up. And TrueStar is known for creating and for having in its network very talented young people. A lot of times when people are looking for young people to work for them, they're like, TrueStar. So again, we want you to add us on LinkedIn. Just, as a job that you've had, put the skills that you've learned, put the experiences. Some of you all are new, so, you may want to wait till after the program. For those who've been with us a while, you should have a lot of things to say about working for TrueStar and what you've done for TrueStar. So I would just encourage everyone, as a company, as an organization, as we build our profile on LinkedIn, please put us on your LinkedIn, and the experience and all of those good things.
Awesome. So I will make sure that I send over this PowerPoint deck so you can take a look at it, and also some examples of profiles that are really awesome that you can kind of take inspiration from and model yours off of. And then I'll see if there's any other helpful tips and tricks that I can also add in. So it's kind of, it can be your like LinkedIn getting started toolkit.
Awesome. And then for some of our college age students and those who are graduating from college going into career, maybe we could do another session that's just a little bit more just advanced, because I know there's so many other tools, even with the premium account that, you know, I just kind of stumble upon, but could be of advantage to them as well if they're really about to be entering the job market, looking for full-time careers and jobs and things like that. So
yeah, this has been so great. There's actually a team at LinkedIn that is focused on like managing creatives that are on LinkedIn. So I can connect with them and see what else we can do and what other goodness we can bring to this group, because this has been so great. So would love to do this again.
that would be awesome. And one of our former students actually worked at LinkedIn, Jalen Andrews. She's now works at Slack in Los Angeles, but she worked a good time at LinkedIn. So maybe there's even something we could do as it regards to careers at LinkedIn. We know LinkedIn has an office here in Chicago, and just exposing our youth to the different jobs that LinkedIn has.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Varshini. Thank you, Jerry, and everyone who participated, all of our students from all of our sites, near and far. We truly, truly appreciate you, and thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Okay, have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Join True Stars alumni tab on LinkedIn.
Yes, we also have the alumni group, so we would like people to join that as well on LinkedIn. Thank you, Charmin.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.